wait for it. Okay, we're live on Twitch. Twitch is showing an ad for me. We're not live on YouTube yet. We're getting there. A few more
I
seconds.
switched up my microphone, so let me know if it sounds better.
Sounds perfect. Hey, and I believe we are live. Just doing a quick sound check. Make sure everything's good. I think we're good. Hey, and hi everybody. Welcome to Lightning Lap, the show where we talk about Bitcoin gaming and get our guests to do a track around Satoshi's village. But more on that later. And I know I always say this, but today it's definitely true. I'm very excited to have our amazing guest on, Brekkie von Bitcoin. Welcome to the show, Brekkie.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. I thought, in honor of Zebedee and the Zebedee Wizard, I would dress up as a wizard today.
Awesome. I saw this before we went live, so I was a bit shocked. So I have to kind of fake a shock now, but that's an awesome costume. Did you make it yourself?
I don't know what costume actually. This is what I wear every day. I'm a wizard. I'm a Bitcoin wizard, of course. Yes, I did. I ordered it from Amazon. I used the fold card and I stacked some sats while I did it. It was money well spent, I think. We'll see.
So for people who don't know, Brekkie is attempting to be the magic internet money wizard. I think he just got the costume for generic wizard, but still, it's pretty cool actually. So and Mint Gox, we actually kind of we basically stole the magic internet money to be our mascot. So yeah, he's definitely close to our hearts. So let's see how long Brekkie can keep this on for and do the interview. I have a feeling in a few minutes he's going to start to get a little bit itchy.
No, of course not, Itchy. Maybe actually, it's not staying on my ears very well. So maybe we'll see if it.
We have to come up with a wizard name because Brekkie von Bitcoin sounds like a kind of German chancellor or something.
Mm.
So it'd be like
yes. A wizard name. If you're watching at home, what should my Bitcoin wizard name be?
I guess you have like Gandalf the Great or something, right? And then Merlin is just Merlin. So it'd be Brekkie the something.
Brekkie the Almighty, the All-Powerful. Actually, the thing is, you can't give yourself a nickname, otherwise it's just
That's
terrible.
True.
So.
Okay, I'll let people in the comments suggest a nickname, which will be funny. And yeah, if it sticks, we'll use that for the lightning lap. Anyway, let's get down to business. So, yeah, Brekkie, let's just start off with yourself. So, like, who are you apart from a magical wizard? But like, who are you? Like, how did you get to be sitting here now? So, what do you do?
Well, do I have to do the wizard voice the whole time?
Yes, that's a requirement in a contract.
All right. Well, it started long ago when I was a mere mortal in film school, and I was studying how to make movies with movie magic, and I came to the realization that making movies is a real pain in the ass, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And so part of why I wanted to make movies was to change the world and make it a better place and bring magic to the world. And the movies are a very sordid business with all sorts of sordid characters like Harvey Weinstein and such. So I got out while I could. At the time, I had fallen down the proverbial rabbit hole, if you will. And I didn't know what I was doing for a while. I was kind of stumbling around in the crypto space, not even the Bitcoin space yet. And I decided I was really put off by all the scammers in the space that I saw. And so I started lampooning them and making funny videos and doing all this kind of creative stuff, putting my film school, and eventually I networked in the space and I got a job working for a company called Tantra Labs. And from there, I made my way over to Swan Bitcoin. And now I'm a wizard, apparently. But
life takes strange turns, You wanted to be a film director, but you ended up as a wizard. But
I can't complain. It's quite magical.
Like, So you were studying film. Were you also doing acting? Because obviously you have amazing Oscar-worthy performance at the moment. Was that a thing as well, or?
No, no, I've just always liked doing voices and being creative, and maybe I could be an actor. We'll see. Maybe I'll act like a streamer, a gaming streamer. What the kids are doing these days.
So you were making films, or you wanted to make films, right? Or like that? It just seems like how does one get into that business at all? Or I guess you didn't, but
It's well, I was in the business, the movie business for a little while. I studied international relations in school, and I looked at propaganda films, and I realized that one of the best ways to kind of spread a good message is through propaganda. Actually, propaganda is neither good nor bad; it's just simply a tool. And so I went to film school. No, I didn't go to film school first. My first boss came and spoke at my university and said, if you want to make it in the movie business, you must move to Los Angeles. And so I moved to Los Angeles, and I started working for her. She was a big time producer. She produced like the Hunger Games and Cinderella and some very magical movies, if you will. And from there, I worked at a talent agency, which was a horrible place, terrible place. Don't ever work at a talent agency.
I did.
You
But yeah.
did.
Well, I had a whole phase as I was like an extra in everything for a while, trying to break into acting that way. But that's for another podcast. But yeah, it's
We should definitely hear about that later. I don't know how.
I do
man,
have
don't
an
know how
anecdote. Okay, like not to steal your thunder, but I do have an anecdote. Like, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Of course.
You know,
Of course. I mean, of course.
Theon Greyjoy or Alfie Allen. I was in a movie with him, and yeah, we were extras. It's just something to do when I was a student, and my neighbors, they run the talent agency, so they kind of got us roles in all these little movies as extras. And yeah, as you probably know, when you're filming, there's lots of periods where you do nothing, right? You just kind of sit and like eat from the canteen. So we would, my brother and I were kind of talking to the other, actresses there, and it was going well. We're talking for an hour, we're exchanging phone numbers and everything, and then Alfie Allen, who plays Theon Greyjoy, just came across and just basically stole all the women off us because he's like at the time it was before Game of Thrones, but he was somewhat known. His sister was famous as well. So he basically just kind of stole them all, and we were just like left there sitting alone. So that scene in the Game of Thrones, and spoiler alert, I'll give people a few seconds not to listen. Spoiler alert. When he's basically tortured and his thing gets chopped off, that felt quite good for me to watch. That's my favorite scene.
Justice is served.
Yeah, I don't think they actually cut it off, unless he's a method actor and they actually did cut it off. But I don't think he's that passionate about his performance.
No, but maybe one day he could play John McAfee in a movie. That would be perfect. He already has the experience.
John McAfee, enlighten me. I'm ignorant here.
Well, you know John, and he had that bet. He said if Bitcoin doesn't reach $1 million by 2020,
McAfee,
I'll eat my own.
Yeah,
dick.
yeah. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he would. He's a character for sure. Perhaps, yeah, he could do maybe. Yeah, I'm sure. I think he was in a movie, wasn't he? I think there was a movie that had people like him in it. Like the guy from Bitcoin SV. What's his name?
Craig?
No, the other guy, Calvin. Yeah, there's like a movie based in Canada which kind of had them as like characters inspired by them. Like, yeah.
Oof, that sounds like the worst movie of all time. I don't.
Yeah, it's something about, I guess I have to be careful what I say because some people are litigious, but it was like it didn't show them in the best light. And yeah, and apparently from what I hear in Canada, he has a whole history there, let's say, of businesses.
Shit.
Anyway.
Sorry. Don't look. The magic is revealed.
You're a shapeshifter.
Yeah. This is not the nicest of costumes, as you can see.
So, like, what was it that got you into Bitcoin then? Like, were you always like kind of like Austrian economic minded, or did you just have like a revelation, or like, I kind of get like the LA acting scene is, is generally, I guess it doesn't seem like a lot of Bitcoiners would be in that scene, right?
No, I mean, I was a producer, so I produced movies. I was never really an actor. And hold on, I'll put this back on for the race.
It's all right. Take a break.
I don't know. I think I was definitely primed for it in some ways. Like my background is Jewish, so like relatives have had to pick up and leave a country in the middle of the night and leave all their wealth behind. So like that made a lot of sense to me. I was briefly, not so briefly, addicted to World of Warcraft. So like digital gold made complete sense. That was an easy understanding for me. And I also, in a past life, I studied Russian and Russian history, and I studied abroad in Moscow for a while. And before I left, I had heard stories from my grandfather about doing business there and how, they never knew if their money was safe in the banks, and it was just a mess over there. And I was like, maybe I should get some of this Bitcoin thing so that if there's ever an emergency, I have this money that no one can touch. So there were a lot of kind of things going on. And then like many people, and that was probably in 2013, that was 2013, 2014. But then I, didn't really pay attention again until 2017, like a lot of people. I fell down the shitcoin rabbit hole, if you will. And then when I finally started doing my research, I had a lot of friends who were like, well, you really need to look at Bitcoin, man. Like this is where it's at. And then I finally did, and, saw the light. And luckily it was in time to kind of atone for my past sins.
Okay, so I guess you came to it like you kind of got it right away, right? Like a lot of people come to Bitcoin and it's like it's skeptical, and then a few years later, then they kind of get into it. But you kind of were kind of primed by it by your World of Warcraft addiction and your grandfather. So your family is from Russia, or
originally, like a long time, like a few generations back.
Yeah. No, I have a family member who's from Bulgaria, and she kind of like just like her family's like everything was just taken, right? All her family's wealth was gone. So like she kind of gets it, right? So yeah.
It's crazy, and it does take a lot of unlearning. Like I didn't fully get it until I really went down the rabbit hole and started learning more about, asking the question, what is money, right? Until you start to really ask what is money, you don't realize how messed up the current system actually is and why Bitcoin does actually fix it. So, took some time.
Yeah, I guess like, generally people in nice countries don't have to think about it too much, but I guess, nowadays they do a little bit more. Yeah. So this is a gaming podcast as well, so let's talk about gaming for a bit. So are you a gamer? Like, 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself as a gamer, would you say?
I mean, I go through phases. Like I find myself addicted to a game for like a few months at a time, and then I'll pull back and be like, okay, this is taking up too much time. Damn this thing. Damn you.
No.
Okay. So I don't know. Like my interests kind of range. Like I was addicted to Pokemon Go for a while. Like I thought that was so much fun and got me out of the house, and World of Warcraft. And I'm now trying to get myself into CS:GO because I'm excited by everything that Zebedee's up to. So that's really exciting. Back in the day, I was always like into like the world building games and like the Civ games and the Pirates, like Sid Meier's games. And so I definitely used to be more of a gamer than I was, but Bitcoin is frankly getting me more and more excited about it. So I'm going to be putting more time into gaming. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Brekkie mentioned there the CS:GO. So for people who aren't aware, at Mint Gox this Sunday, we're actually doing a tournament that you can watch with CS:GO. Zebedee, which is a company that I co-founded, we developed a kind of a companion app for CS:GO where you can basically play it with Bitcoin. Yeah, so I guess it's a strange question. I remember maybe like 10, 20 years ago, you'd ask people, are you a gamer? And people would say yes or no. But now everybody kind of is, right? There's very few people, like, I suppose, who are under 40 who have never actually played a game. It's just something, it's like, do you watch movies, right? Or something. Like a similar question.
There are some people who don't watch movies, though. I find that crazy, but, there's some people who don't, and some people who don't game.
They're very productive people.
But yeah, my brother actually works in esports, so I've been exposed to a lot of like the things that are going on. And he works for a talent agency here, but he works in their esports department, so he represents a lot of streamers, and I get to hear about all the exciting stuff going on and the drama. And so it's a very interesting world, and especially like the difference between like there's gamers and then there's people in the esports world, which is like a whole nother beast. So I'm excited to see kind of how Bitcoin will change up this traditional gaming world.
I suppose it's a little bit like people who just play soccer in the park with their friends, and people who actually play soccer in a team or professionally, right? It's like gaming is just like a sport nowadays, right? It's also a hobby. It's also a pastime. But yeah, no, definitely. Like, guess with we're gonna be showcasing a game later where Brekkie's gonna try and get a fast lap time. But do you have any game that you would say was kind of gonna say um was specifically important to you, like a gaming moment, as it were? Was that World of Warcraft?
I think World of Warcraft was definitely one of them. When you could when you can find yourself spending hours upon hours and not sleeping, and you're just like totally immersed in it. It's on a different level. You're like, okay, this is real. Half-Life was really not Half-Life. Second Life. Second Life was really interesting. Well, I don't even know if you'd call it a game, but it was the first sort of like world explorer thing with real people
Was
for me
Second Life the
before.
one with the Linden dollars? Or am I getting that
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Was
Like I
that
didn't know what to think of it.
so? Maybe you can explain it better because I've never played it. I only heard about it, but they were having like a real economy, and they had a dollar that I think there was something about it that it was tradable, or you could kind of basically it was a real currency or something like that.
Something like I was too young, or maybe just too stupid to really participate in the economy aspect of it. But yeah, it was almost like a kind of like Minecraft in a way, where there were all these worlds that people were building, and like people had real estate there, and there are these like in-game economies that popped up. And there wasn't really a point to it. It was kind of just go forth and explore. I think people would like build games within the game, like add quests and things like that. But it wasn't, you know, I should go back and like see if it's still around because like I was too young when it was out to really get it, I think.
Yeah, I think it says Linden dollars could be exchanged for US dollars outside the platform.
Mhm.
I think it was shut down. I don't know. I remember. I don't know. That's not allowed.
I remember reading something about that too.
Linden shut down. Yeah. So yeah, but it was kind of in a way. It's like if only I guess it's. I guess kind of if only they had Bitcoin or something like that. That couldn't be shut down or something. But
I think we're gonna see that. I hope so at least. Like imagine like a game where Bitcoin is the in-game economy, like the in-game currency, and you can take it in and out of the game, and there's it's not a walled garden anymore. Like that's my hope at least.
yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure how it will take off because I guess like Bitcoin it isn't like by any means Keynesian, right? It's all like the free market and whatever. But as a game developer, you basically you want to control the laws of physics. So you for sure kind of you want to control the monetary system. So it'd be interesting because I think World of Warcraft probably had this issue a few times where they had to like control the monetary system so that they wouldn't get hyperinflation or hyperdeflation or did you experience
Yeah.
anything like that in World of
I
Warcraft?
I was just playing. I wasn't really trying to game the system or anything like that. But no, it's true. Like you look at like how games come together. Like game companies they have to hire economists to make sure that they don't crash their own economies, which is crazy to me because I don't know. It seems like if they were to just use Bitcoin to use a free currency, they wouldn't even have these problems.
Yeah.
And then I think about like to your point, like the game developers need to be able to make money to keep the game going. So there has to be some element of control. And I can't help but think of like Ready Player One. I don't know if you've read the book,
I've
but
seen
in
the
the
movie.
so you got to read the book. And I hate to be that person, but in this one instance, especially as a game designer, you have to read the book or do the audiobook. It's incredible.
Yeah,
But
no,
like
I might do the audiobook because I have a dog to walk, so that's my
the
audiobooks now.
guy who does the audiobook, Will Wheaton, he does like the perfect voices
Okay,
for it. It's
cool, yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
But the way that their economy works, like the way that the game company makes money, is within the massive multiplayer world. They're the ones issuing certain things like gasoline, like fuel for the spaceships. Like they can create as much fuel as they want, but like they're not messing with the currency itself, or people can earn the money by building things and contributing to the economy. Like I just think that if they were to open up the currency of one of these games, the overall economic growth inside the game would actually be massive. And I don't think that game developers necessarily need to get cut out of that. I just think they need to reserve certain things to themselves so that they can continue to support the game.
I,
But
I think as a game developer, I think like if I guess it's the same as I guess people would say it's the same as like governments or bankers or whatever. If you can control it easily, you're going to control it. You'll never know what it's like not to be able to control something. So If you couldn't control it, maybe it would be okay, but you'd never know because you would always jump in and change something. Or so it definitely going to be interesting to see if a game does kind of adopt Bitcoin as kind of like its base currency, if it kind of works itself out or the incentives align, or I don't know. It's definitely gonna. I'm sure some academic's gonna watch it and like write a paper on it, or for sure.
We'll see. I believe in you, Mandel Duck. You can do it. You can just let the economy go. Just let it be. Let it be free.
Well,
it wants to be free.
You kind of see it happening anyway with people trying to make like third party markets, right? So all these games, there's always going to be like kind of, let's say, like dark markets or shadow markets where people are trading accounts or trading skins. So the kind of the economy, as much as it can, tries to find a way. But yeah, it's
if you can't beat it, join it. Yeah, I don't know if his game is doing this, but that Infinite Fleet game that Samsung is working on, I think they're using Bitcoin in some way as the in-game account. I don't know. I need to look into it.
Don't
Somebody's
think so. I think they have their own security token.
maybe. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't want to put words in mouth, so maybe check that out. But I know they did a security token offering. So yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, I think they have something on Liquid. But that kind of goes back to the point as game developers, you don't want to kind of like, you don't want to just like give up control of your game to something that you can't control. Even like I guess countries don't want to do that, right? That's why they like to control their currency. So it's going to be interesting to see, how that happens. Maybe it comes from like an indie game, like myself making a game, and then yeah, for sure, it's exciting, So
yeah, I think we're on a frontier, and I think the incumbents, like the legacy gaming world, just they don't have a clue what's coming. They don't have any idea, and I'm kind of excited to see them either adapt or die. One of the two.
Like from my experience, the legacy gaming companies, everybody knows about like blockchain and NFTs, but when you talk about Bitcoin, they just think, oh, that doesn't do payments, and then they've never heard about Lightning. So it's like it's crazy, in a way, like kind of how much it's not on their radar, and I think that's just a lot to do with kind of Ethereum, and has a lot. It's kind of people were out there and pushing it more, when at the time Bitcoin, like the Lightning network, was being developed and it was somewhat kind of in stealth mode. It was like reckless mode, right? But I definitely think that going forward, then once people see it in action, it's going to be like a wake up call. Is there any game that you would love to see with Bitcoin kind of integrated? So we've had CS:GO, but I don't think you've played that before, right? So if there's like a game that you would love just to play with Bitcoin, what would it be?
That's a really hard one, like some sort of MMORPG like World of Warcraft would be like, to me, I'm definitely most interested in like what we've just been talking about, like seeing it as the base of an in-game economy. But I do love this idea of playing for sats and being able to like with CS:GO, like you're shooting your opponent and you're stealing their sats at the same time. Like to me, that's also really, really interesting. But yeah, I don't know. It would. I still think like I'd love to see some sort of in-game economy that works on Bitcoin. Like anyone who comes in like can contribute. Like I don't know. Like let's say it's something like World of Warcraft. Instead of it being totally free to play, like maybe it costs $10 to get like your starter pack of gear. And then from there, you can build things. You can contribute to the in-game economy. You can win Bitcoin from others. Like it's hard. Also because like I hate pay to play. Like I hate these like stupid games on your phone where people like will pay a lot of money and they have all the upgrades and then they can just win. Like that. I don't like that either. Like there needs to be some sort of skill involved. So
yeah, I think kind of the incentives in gaming have become a bit kind of perverse, right? It's like this kind of freemium and pay to play. So kind of a good like honest game where people pay honestly to play it and then get honest Bitcoin in return.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I can't see why it won't take off. But yeah, let's change gears a little bit. So you are creative director at Swan Bitcoin, is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
For those who don't know, what is Swan Bitcoin?
So we are, I think, the easiest and best way to accumulate Bitcoin in the U.S. We started off offering automatic recurring buys. with fees, far lower than Coinbase and Cash App and all that stuff. We're Bitcoin only. We're adamantly Bitcoin only, and we don't really have a marketing department. We have an education department. So we're all about spreading awareness of Bitcoin and educating people and doing what we can to kind of spread the good word. And now, as we're growing, we offer instant buys as well. We offer things like automatic withdrawals because we want you to take custody of your coins when you're ready. So we're kind of like the on-ramp for Bitcoiners and for people who understand the importance of Bitcoin. And we make it really easy. Like, instead of logging into a website and having all these different altcoins in your face and not knowing what to do, like, you log in, you make an account on Swan, you set it up, and it's Bitcoin only. It's easy, and we make it easy to build this sort of savings account in Bitcoin, if you will. So we have a lot of fun. As creative director, I get to go on shows like this, but I get to put my hands in lots of different creative things. We have something called Bitcoin TV that we're working on. It's live now. It's just at like bitcointv.network. So it's like a 24/7 stream of Bitcoin content.
Awesome.
We have two amazing shows, Swan Signal Live and Swan Lounge, that I host on Fridays. But one is like very, very much about getting to the heart of the matter and talking on big high level topics, and that's hosted by Brady, Citizen Bitcoin. And the Friday show that I host is more fun. We hang out, we get Bitcoiners on, sometimes people who are new to Bitcoin, and we talk about the week's events and we kind of shoot the shit and just have a good time. So it's fun, I never expected to be doing this back when I was in film school, but I can't really see myself doing anything else now. So it's pretty amazing.
It's always nice when you can combine Bitcoin with your other career, right? So you were like film director or whatever, but now you're kind of making.
Well, it's funny, as I said,
Bitcoin.
100%. I actually said to myself when I was leaving film, I'm like, I am never making a movie again unless it has something to do with Bitcoin. And like the other day, we just released a short film that I put together based off of one of Robert Breedlove's essays. And I think it's more of a proof of concept, but it's something that I'm really excited about, and hopefully we'll do more like that. So yeah, it's when you actually care about what you're doing and the message that you're trying to get across, and you're able to work with some amazing people, it's worth it.
You need to get Netflix to commission a documentary on Lightning Network. Because like every time, like, I kind of watch interviews and I'll see like some historian or economist comment and can give his opinion on Bitcoin, and they've just seen like the one Bitcoin documentary that was like made in 2014 or something like that. So I kind of think that would be an awesome thing to kind of like a Bitcoin, but by the time you made it, it'd probably be out of date, right?
Probably. There was a good doc called, what was it called? Play Money? No, I'll look it up for you. But it was about Bitcoin in the context of gaming, and it kind of goes through like the old days with World of Warcraft. It features people like Brock Pierce and some of the early people, some people who like got were put in jail for like some of these things that just they became martyrs almost for these like early proto Bitcoin things.
Like Charlie Shrem kind of thing, or
what was it?
Like a Charlie Shrem kind of situation, or?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It was like some of the early days of these like in-game currency things that were happening that everyone
before. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think I'll have to write that in the comments. I think our viewers would like that as well.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So where were we? What were we talking about? Yeah,
we're talking about the Lightning documentary and how hopefully you are taking B-roll footage of everything you're doing so that we can actually make a documentary.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, I'll have to get somebody better looking than me to kind of act myself and play them out or something.
We'll get what's his face, Alfie. He can play you.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I said better looking. I actually have a twin brother who's better looking than me because he keeps himself in shape better. So maybe
he's not a gamer.
He's like as much a gamer as I was, but now he's not in gaming anymore, But we used to play games together. I was actually thinking to have him on the show once, just to mess with people, to interview my kind of doppelganger, But maybe another time. Yeah, I had a thought. I lost it. Lightning Network documentary. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
documentary, gaming.
Oh, that was it. I was actually yeah, I've been to a few gaming museums actually that kind of like exhibitions where they've kind of like timeline. You kind of go to the exhibition. It starts with like the first game console, which is like
Mhm.
basic kind of Pong thing, and then you kind of walk through the evolution of gaming, and it always kind of ends with like esports at the end. But I kind of think having the next chapter would be kind of like Bitcoin gaming, or I guess blockchain gaming would be there in there to some extent as well. Uh, but yeah, I think that's definitely gonna like kind of making history at the moment, but it seems so small. But it's, I guess, at each point when people were making the first like Pong or something, it probably seemed very small as well.
I mean, it's coming, and you see people when people like interact with Lightning Gaming for the first time. I think their minds are blown. Like you see it all the time. They're just like, wait a second, I just won Sats for that. Let me pull out this Lightning wallet. Wait a second, it's that quick. Like we're getting to that point where I think it's reaching more and more people, but there's still a lot of people that we have to reach. And what I think when they see it, they'll start to see the potential, and then we're off to the races.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully going to happen next week because that's when CS:GO is launched. So we hopefully convert 20 million monthly active users. But anyway,
We got to get to all the CS:GO streamers and tell them that they can make money
I mean,
while
like
they play,
they're
just for
doing
play.
they're doing what they're doing, but now they're just adding Bitcoin to it. It's like it's we kind of do
Why
that with
not?
games anyway. It's like people play cards and then people play cards with money. It makes the cards a little bit better. Still the same game, you know. But
Exactly.
yeah. So I hear you're also an artist. Is that correct?
I am an artist. Frankly, I've been distracted by my work at Swan, so it's been a while. But I like to work in things like concrete and resin and do sculpture work. And more recently, I've gotten into digital sculpting and 3D printing and things like that. It's more like I just love to create things and create things about Bitcoin. So kind of whenever the moment strikes, I'm actually involved in um, Scarcity. Do you know Scarcity? Have you heard of them?
I heard about it when I was doing research for this interview, but that's about it.
So I just became an advisor for them, and I'm so excited about what they're doing. They're
Yeah, no,
basically
do tell.
a Lightning-based auction website.
Oh yes,
So
I think I have heard about these. Yeah, I think
they've done a
Desiree
couple
from Lightning
of
Labs
very
mentioned
successful
it.
auctions so far, and eventually they're going to be incorporating NFTs when the experience is more user-friendly with RGB. So they're Bitcoiners through and through, and so when NFTs come to Bitcoin again, because for
I
those who
like the
don't know,
again. Yeah.
this is a fact I love to tell people that NFTs were on Bitcoin before Ethereum even existed,
Yep.
In the form of counterparty way back in the day and rare
Yep.
pepes. So
Yeah, I've got my
um,
collection of rare Pepe still on my ledger, actually.
that's awesome. But yeah, so I'm really excited about what they're up to. I just think like Lightning and auction, like I haven't won anything yet, but I've placed bids, and it's such a seamless experience using Lightning that it literally takes the friction away. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, because I actually was like a counterparty, like a somewhat developer back in the day, and I was like playing around with NFTs, and I had games which you could have the tokens in, and you
Mhm.
could use it, and it worked really cool. The only issue was like the scaling, right? It kind of fees got expensive, and confirmation times were kind of unpredictable. And then like everybody went over to Ethereum and had the same issues. And it seems the way they're kind of solving it now on NFTs is just basically using databases and calling them blockchains. Which I think maybe there's a place for that, like some sort of like more open database, but it's not really the same thing. So I really think it really has to be on like a kind of second layer, like Lightning or RGB, and it's such a difficult problem to solve. But once it gets there, I think it's going to be quite exciting to see what people come up with.
It's kind of the Bitcoin way of doing things. It takes a bit longer, but then once it's ready and it's working, it's just 10 times better. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like these NFT platforms where it's more centralized. Like I just don't get it. And NFTs are. I don't want to get into NFTs. Let's talk about something else.
I think it's interesting. I think actually we get a lot of crossover because we're kind of Lightning gaming, but we get a lot of our fans also play other games like blockchain games. So it's kind of question we get a lot, and also the Light Night guys who developed the
Mhm,
Lightning Fortnite. They are kind of playing with NFTs on Liquid. So
mhm.
it's kind of like I think there's a lot of issues. Like there's like a technological issue, and then there's kind of like there's also like an incentive issues. Like do you pre-sale the NFT, or does that become like a ICO, or there's all these kind of complications. But I think it's
That's the
definitely
thing, like,
it's something that we can't ignore. you know. Um,
I mean, the thing about NFTs is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but when it comes to gaming, when it comes to art, a lot of the times they're just a gimmick. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It might make the product cooler. People might want to collect them, and that's awesome. Like I want an NFT associated with the skin that I'm using in a game. But at the end of the day, like there's still a layer of trust between the user and the gaming company, or the user and the artist. And you can't totally abstract that away. Like anytime you put something on a blockchain that isn't endemic to it, that
yep.
isn't native to that blockchain, there's always a trust issue. Um, and I think it's more about what users want. Like as a gamer or as an artist or a collector, like I want to have control over certain things. And like, let's say it's an in-game skin, right? Like maybe I want to sell it on a secondary market. Well, at the end of the day, a game company doesn't need a blockchain to do that. They could just allow you to sell them in a secondary market, you know? And so I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's an interesting world.
I kind of agree with you there. So like what I kind of didn't like were a lot of NFT companies saying there's this term true ownership, which really bugged me because you have an NFT for like a spaceship in a game and it's true ownership. You own it, but the game developer can just get rid of the spaceship in the game, and then you've
Yeah,
just got a token that links to nothing. I guess
exactly.
the comeback is that oh well, you'll be able to use that token in another game. Another game would have like you would have like shared this, and that there is kind of some kind of
If
truth
they
to
honor it,
that, but yeah, and to what extent that actually happens, and to what extent game companies want to let other people share tokens. I kind of did it in Counterparty. There was a Counterparty game, and I wanted their users, so I made their token a game item in my game, so the users kind of got extra stuff in it. But it's not really the same as it's more like a tradable IOU that could kind of be unlinked at any time. So there is like some kind of utility to it, but it's not really like it. Like you said, it's not endemic to the protocol like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin
Mhm.
is Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if the app or the wallet you got it from Ghost. It's still your Bitcoin kind of thing. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know. No, it's quite interesting, but it's definitely like the buzzword and the hype. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Um, but as an artist, though, like a lot of people do like to create kind of blockchain art and like to kind of make them NFTs. That's a kind of a thing, like rare digital art. What are your views on that? Or you think?
Um,
I think like some
Again,
painting sold for like $60,000 or something the other day on ETH or something.
yeah. I mean, it's cool in the sense that like it's empowering certain artists to actually make some money finally, which is nice. But to me, it's still, and again, it's not a bad thing. It's kind of a gimmick in that there's a trust thing there. And like, let's say I'm an artist and I create some digital painting and I issue 100 NFTs, or no, let's say I issue 5 NFTs of that painting, right? If I go ahead and make and reissue the same painting in a second edition, like I could be debasing it, like the value of it. And if I do another 100, I could be debasing it even further. Like you don't know how your collectors are going to react, and
Mm.
you know, it's there's still that trust between artist and collector, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, it's like a improvement on a certificate of authenticity, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's something a little bit more than nothing, but it's not the painting, right? It's not like you you have an original kind of like Van Gogh or something. It,
right. I mean, it's very hard with something that's digital because what
yeah,
constitutes an original?
yeah,
Like
that's true.
version one, like an artist might have 100 versions that they've saved, and then they issue the last one. All right, well, now what if they were to issue a version of one of the prior versions before it was done? Like what's that worth?
Did you ever hear the
You
story about Picasso? I don't know if it's like an urban myth, but he used to pay for things and like used to like do a sketch and pay for like coffee. You
know?
just
I
you
mean,
go,
I
oh,
heard
I've got no
like,
cash. Here you go. It's an original, and pay for his meal.
and now it's probably worth a decent amount. But like that's the thing. Like a lot of his later works, like he you put out so much shit, later on that, yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. Like I've been meaning to write an article trying to link kind of NFTs and tokens with something like guitars, which I know a little bit about, because like you get like these rare guitars, like but it's so
Mhm.
weird. You could have one guitar, it's like a 1958 Les Paul, it's like worth like $300,000, and a 1959 Les Paul is like worth like 5,000. It's like so weird how the market determines what's valuable and what's not. But and when you add digital things into that, like you said, it's like, what does it even mean?
I mean,
Um,
at the end of the day, like my dad taught me something he basically said, like, the price of anything is whatever someone's willing to pay for it.
yeah, pretty much.
So people can, like, some people might shit on NFTs and say they're worthless, and some people might agree with them. And what I say is, if someone's willing to pay a certain amount, that's what it's worth in that moment. It may not be as liquid. You may not be able to get everyone to pay for it, but who would, like,
Yeah,
I think baseball cards are stupid. I think they're dumb. I think they have no use whatsoever. That doesn't mean that they don't have value. It doesn't mean that somebody else isn't willing to pay $5,000 for a rookie card, right? You know, so it's kind of, they're in the eye of the beholder.
I think, yeah, again, it goes back to like the market and the community. I think what a lot of NFT kind of games make the mistake of, they think, well, I'll only make one of these, therefore it's worth $10,000. You know what I mean? That's kind of a lot of people like, this is valuable because it's rare, but like I can make a picture that's rare right now. Give me a crayon and some paper.
Right, exactly.
So, but anyway, enough of NFT and token talk. Back to Bitcoin. So,
Back to Bitcoin.
what are you most excited on in Bitcoin? Like, are you excited with Lightning Network? I think you said RGB, but are you excited of like Taproot and stuff like that? Like, what kind of is the yeah?
I mean, I'm one of those, classic Bitcoiners that's kind of happy with the functionality of Bitcoin as is. So anything else is just like a cherry on top. I think I'm here for the sound money. It's a way to preserve wealth across generations, and and to preserve wealth, in the face of governments hyperinflating currencies. So if it didn't change, I'd be happy. But that being said, like, I think this is going to be the year of Lightning, and I think people have been sleeping on it, and people are waking up finally. So I'm excited about gaming. I'm excited to see where things like Lightning Strike take it. It's hard to like be excited about it for payments in the US because of the tax situation. Like, spending Bitcoin is not always,
Yeah.
it's not tax advantageous at all. That being said, like, I use Strike to buy things with Bitcoin whenever I can, which gets rid of the tax burden, so that's great. Taproot is interesting, right? Like, we're still a ways away, and I don't know, what we're gonna see come out of it just yet. Like, the technical, like, improvements of Bitcoin are exciting, but like, until there's a tangible benefit to like the everyday user, I'm less excited. And I think that's coming too. Like, I think we're going to see some really cool improvements in UI UX this year, and
Yeah,
things will get easier to use, which to me is exciting.
I think Lightning's again Lightning and get apps around Lightning are much more exciting because it can just move so fast this year. Like the base layer Bitcoin is moving slowly and as it should, right? So in a way, there's not you can be excited about it like as an engineer, but like as a kind of end user product, there's nothing that's going to like blow you out of the water this year, I'd imagine. But Lightning, it's just like especially what companies can do with it now. I'm excited to see what people kind of come up with.
Well, what would be really cool is that's the thing, is like, I don't think we know yet what's even possible with Lightning. Like, and I think once people start really taking a serious look at it, we'll start to see more experimentation, which will be exciting. But companies like Atomic Finance, for example, is experimenting with ways to earn yield in Bitcoin in a trustless way. I think that's really exciting. A lot of people are going to go wild for that. So I don't know. And what did Lightning come out with recently? I haven't tried it out yet. But like a yield curve actually developing on Bitcoin, like, to me, that's super interesting. And that's when we start to really see like the full potential of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think. Well, I guess people say it's like Li-Fi or something, right? Lightning Finance. Yeah. There's been talks about like instant swaps and stuff on Lightning, and these kind of like in a way doing kind of smart contracty things on Lightning which are instant. So yeah, for sure. I think it's Definitely gonna be exciting. Anyway, we got you on today's show for a reason. We got you on to do a lap of Satoshi's Village and our game Bitcoin Rally. So for people who don't know, we developed a game for Mint Gox, which is basically it's Mario Kart but with Bitcoin via the Lightning Network. So you can play that game at the next Mint Gox this Sunday. However, we've kind of done this little kind of ongoing competition where we get kind of Bitcoin celebrities to do a kind of fast lap around the track, and we rank them to kind of see who's the fastest Bitcoiner. So can I see this? Yeah. So we've done this is episode 4 of a Lightning Lap. So at the moment we've got in top places Nicolas Dorier. That was episode 2. We did him. Stefan Lever, which we did last week, I think, episode 3. And we also had Mags and Brad Mills. We kind of did like a joint episode. So we've got like a bunch of Bitcoins here already. No Coiner Ned is I just needed somebody to set a score when we first started. So I got my No Coiner friend to do it, and he sucked. Almost.
No Coiner Ned. I love it.
Yeah, his name's not Ned, but I changed it because it worked better. Anyway, Brad Mills, was close to being bested by a No Coiner. Anyway, the score to beat is Nicolas Dorier, but let's see where Brekkie comes. So I'm just gonna organize getting that game open now. So do you have the game open, Brekkie?
I do have the game open, and I'm excited to make Nicholas obsolete.
I'm gonna see if I can get the game open.
None shall pass my score.
Let me just resize. Unfortunately, I can't use something like automated, like Restream or whatever, because they suck at streaming games. So I have to do everything manually. I think we can see our faces there. Yeah, so I'm going to make a game. Let me just hide this game capture. And you are going to join the game in 1 second. You remember the password. Don't say it online because people will join. Host as a spectator. Okay, yeah, we're still streaming. The game should be available for you to join.
All right. Maybe
so Brekkie's going to join this game, and he's basically going to race around. While he's just getting started, I'll explain how the game works. Normally, when you play a Mint Gox, you can join a bunch of online games where people from all around the world will enter a race, and you basically race around, and you can collect Bitcoins. And the Bitcoins you collect, you can withdraw at the end of the game. You also get like a Bitcoin bonus based on your position. If you get first, you get extra coins. Kind of like a fun way to earn Bitcoin. Like I said, it's Mario Kart with Bitcoin. So yeah, if you want to try that out, you can try it out this Sunday. We are working on a build where people can host their own online games that hopefully should be coming out next month. Okay, it looks like Brekkie has joined. Okay. Yeah, so Brekkie has 4 laps to kind of get. He'll do 4 laps, and the lap with the fastest time will be his high score, and then we'll add that to the leaderboard. We did a practice session earlier today, and Brekkie was interesting. I'll say that.
It was not good. It was terrible.
Maybe
I'm a terrible driver.
The wizard magic might help.
The wizard magic might help. Yes, we'll see.
I guess you're an older driver, right? So.
I'm an old, wise wizard driver. Out of my way.
We do actually have a wizard cart in this, but we have to make everybody drive the same cart to make it fair. So.
Oh, this is not going to be good.
This
is not going to be good. 3, 2, 1. Ah, and away we go down the track.
So Brekkie's collecting. Well, he missed some coins. If you collect the coins, you can withdraw at the end. But I guess if you collect the coins, you might go slower.
I'm not worried about the coins. I'm not worried about embarrassing myself on the track.
This first lap is doesn't really count. It's not going to be. The first lap is a warm up because you're starting from 0 speed. You're starting from standstill, so you're not really counting.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do.
I'm distracting you.
From my bad driving. Ooh, shit.
Gotta keep it family friendly.
Oh shit again. Can you put up bumpers that keep me in the lanes? Oh,
yeah, but you'd hit the bumpers, wouldn't you?
Yes.
That's all right.
Oh, don't jinx it, Randall Duck. You jinxed it. If I lose, it's your fault.
I don't understand how that happened. You were on a straight and you turned into the fence.
Don't. Just shush. Oh, shit again. Damn it.
Coming into the end, so we got now. This is where it really starts. You got 3 laps.
And away we go. Into the corner. Around the corner. Oh, we haven't fallen yet. All right, there we go. Okay, let's brake a little bit. Brake. Oh, shit. Ah, okay. No, out of there. No, damn it, tree, get out of my way. Oh, shit.
I'm gonna try and be quiet to let Brekkie concentrate. I think he's entertaining enough.
I'm trying. This is depressing already. I can feel it in my bones. No corner Ned is gonna win. Oh shit! It's these narrow turns. I don't know how to do the narrow turns. Like
you brake.
Ones. What? Braking.
Racing lines are important as well. You want to go wide in on a turn, right?
Shit. Don't worry, folks. I'm doing this so that the last lap is my best. Oh, fuck this one.
You getting out? Not really, but it's all right.
Bleep, bleepity bleep. Ugh.
I guess you never played racing games as a kid, right?
I did Cruising USA, and I would just cruise around, you know. I would never win though. And away we go. See, nice. Not bad. Around the out. Braking. Okay, braking. Oh shit!
You just drove straight into the fence. Then you didn't even attempt to brake.
Well, you know, it's normally I have a steering wheel and I use my feet. Okay, this is not. People don't normally drive with a keyboard.
You can use a gamepad.
No one told me that.
Have Xbox 360 support.
Almost. It's definitely like a 70-second lap right here.
Blame the sunglasses.
It's the magic. The wizard magic is interfering with. Oh no! So close. All right.
Do wizards wear sunglasses?
It's reading spectacles, not sunglasses.
Look more like an age like 70s psychedelic rocker.
As well, you take enough psychedelics and you're a wizard. That's how it works.
Final lap now, folks. So. We're in German.
Yeah, ach, nine. 9 again. 9, 10, 11. Oh. No. The worst part is I practiced.
You didn't practice in a wizard costume.
No, I did not. There we go. I have it out. As long as I beat Brad Mills. No corner Ned.
Yeah, he hadn't played before.
Oh, no! Ah!
I don't think this is going to be your best lap.
I don't think no, not at all.
You try and make up time, but...
I don't even...
Okay.
My worst.
Okay. Awesome. You can withdraw, actually. So I'm going to look at the... I'm going to look at the times now. Just start there.
I changed up my settings from the last time I did it.
Yeah, Nicola Dorier gave me some Bitcoin to make you lose. Okay. I've got your best time on here. Note of that. Okay, interesting.
Uh-oh. Interesting isn't good. It's not bad, but it's not good.
I actually just write down your worst time as well. Okay, so now I just need to update it to the database, but how do you think you did?
Were you paying attention? Horrible. Wizards should not drive Mario Karts.
Like, numbers. Give me numbers.
I'm hoping I stayed in I want to say 67 seconds.
67 seconds you think feels right?
I think that might be my fastest one, yes.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Let's shrink us down with wizard magic.
I've gotten under 60 before.
So
on rare.
you got under 60 when you practice, okay, but who we got? Okay, so 67. Oh, you could be above or you could be below Mags. 67. Do you think you were faster than Mags or slower?
Slower. Why are you delaying this? This is horrible. This is horrible. This is painful.
What would you like your username to be? Just Brekkie?
Brekkie's fine. Yes, yes.
I have to do like Brekkie there. We didn't come up with a wizard name, and the audience let us down, I think.
Well, apparently I let the audience down with
How
my
about
driving.
Brekkie the Blind?
Brekkie the Blind. Yes.
If you have like blind man's glasses on, and you're not even like look like you're blind driving.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you see the leaderboard?
No. The what?
I didn't send you a link. So I sent you a link to the leaderboard so you can watch it as well.
Oh, let me look. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm looking. I'm watching.
I'm submitting the score submitted. Refresh the page.
Oh,
and
God. Okay, it's not. That's about what I guessed.
67. That was a good guess. 67.72. So yeah, pretty much the same as Max. Max has actually competed in Bitcoin Rally tournaments, but she didn't know that you could tune the cart. To be fair, so she had like a slow cart. Maybe you didn't do too well, but you did better than Brad. Anyway, you're not the worst. Better than a no coiner. That's what's important.
At least I had some self-awareness. Okay, it's better to know approximately how good you are than to think that you're much better than you are when in fact you're much worse than you are.
It's true, but maybe if you thought you're amazing, you'd drive better. There's like a psychological effect, is it? I don't know. Something.
It could be.
Anyway, your worst
I didn't
time.
psych myself up.
There you go. You're too humble and you self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
But it's all right. It's good. You know, we're gonna have more people next. We're gonna have Peter McCormick on, so he might do worse.
The King of Bedford. The King of Bedford gets a head start. Okay, he's the king.
Yeah, I must say that we've also kind of added everybody's country, so we're kind of competing with nations here. So France is winning, and Australia is second. Canada, yeah. So far, yeah, I guess as American, you're in between two Canadians.
Brekkie the Blind.
Anyway, that was good actually. It could have been worse. So, well done. At least you got some sats. I don't know if you were able to withdraw.
Wait. First coins finished. How do I get?
You just need to scan it with a Lightning wallet.
Wait, where's my Zebedee wallet? Zebedee wallet, where are you?
I think there's not. I lowered the sats amount actually for this, so it's only a few sats this time.
I am not going to give up on.
But if you join us at Mint Gox on the 31st, we're giving away 1 million sats to like people who just casually race. We have a tournament which we're giving away 2 million sats to specific people, but we have like these fun races, and we have 1 million sats to give away. So look out for that. Anyway, cool. Well, congratulations, I suppose.
You're very good with these compliments. Congratulations, I suppose. You did very well for doing terribly for a blind driver.
I should be thankful for actually coming on the show. Anyway,
it's all right. Under no illusions.
I'm going to open it up a bit to the audience now. So people have questions. Do let us know in the chat. I can actually see the chat from all the different streams. So people asking stuff on Twitch. So do ask us away. I did have one question, which is a bit random from the interweb. As an artist, which artist do you think would most like Bitcoin? If that makes any sense.
Ooh. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I mean, probably any of like the old masters who actually put a lot of time and effort into their work, because like it was like proof of work. You look at like no offense to all the modern artists, but if the art only takes like an hour to make, they probably would be into shitcoins and not into Bitcoin. Whereas if the art took like 20 years to paint the Sistine Chapel or whatever it was, they'd be Bitcoiners. So Michelangelo, Da Vinci, they'd be Bitcoiners.
Well, I guess they were probably like, they used gold or something back in the day, right? So it's like why wouldn't you use like a digital gold kind of thing? Maybe they'd be more surprised by like dollars or something. I don't know. Inflation is what kind of thing? Kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Also, so we've got some more questions. Oh, what what do you think about the GameStop situation? So I guess maybe the viewers. I don't know. Would all the viewers know about it? I didn't really know about it until this morning. Um,
Duck, I think you've been in your coding cave or your
yeah.
gaming cave for a while. The entire world knows about this. It's everywhere, and it's horrible, and it's injustice. And fuck these screw these hedge fund managers and the government trying to take our like. It is such an injustice that I can't even formulate my thoughts because it angers me so much. And
Well, can you
you've got these.
explain it
Oh,
like I'm five to like somebody who might not
yeah.
know? The other
So
coders who haven't been watching the news.
there's this Reddit subreddit called Wall Street Bets, where people make crazy bets on Wall Street. They're sharing tips, whatever. Oh, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And a bunch of traders basically realized that these hedge funds had these short positions on a number of companies. And they all were like, we're gonna buy these companies. We're gonna go long on these things. And so many people did that it put these short positions, it squeezed them to the point where like they bankrupted some big hedge funds, and it didn't look like it was stopping. There were so many people doing this, and it kind of developed this air of we're kind of sticking it to the man, like we're playing Wall Street's game and we're playing it better than they are, and they're getting screwed, and why not? Like, let's get rich. And so what's happened in the last day or so is the exchanges have like shut down trading of GameStop, for example. Like Robinhood stopped trading, only allowed selling, no buying. And in some cases, they even close people's positions out for them on their behalf for their own good, which is like fucking, excuse me.
I guess they got a phone call from someone, didn't they? Maybe.
It's really interesting. If you watch the news, you see these entrenched interests, these hedge fund managers and these like billionaires.
I haven't seen it on the news here in the UK. Maybe so it's just all like Corona at the moment. But so maybe it's like I guess it's an American company. Maybe that's why. But yeah,
it could be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
yeah, it's pretty interesting kind of concept though. It's kind of like just from like the trolling aspect, it's kind of funny. But then there's a more deeper thing. Like, wait a minute, these people we don't have the same rule book.
That's the thing. Like, these hedge fund managers can like meet up together for like dinners in the Hamptons and discuss what they're going to do, and that's legal. But when the little guy,
they make $1 billion and get $1 million fine or something.
I think there's going to be repercussions for this going forward. This could be a black swan event in the making. Like, we're witnessing it happen right now, and it's exposing the fraud in the system. So
I kind of thought that like after a lot of businesses go bankrupt due to lockdown, there'll just be GameStop shops everywhere. You go in and like Starbucks is like GameStop coffee, GameStop coffee, and then like the gas station is like GameStop gas. The only company that survives the pandemic, like a post kind of apocalyptic dystopian future where GameStop is like.
The funny memes are like GameStop is the new store of value. Like a lot of people taking Bitcoin memes and rewriting them with GameStop. I found really funny.
I got another question from the audience. So you're also a podcaster. So as a podcaster, who would you most like to interview and why?
Interview? I don't know.
Dead or alive? I'm gonna add that. He didn't ask that, or they didn't ask that. But I guess alive there's more chance of you actually interviewing them. So
I don't know. Elon would be fun, but maybe not. Like
Elon.
Yeah, I'm not like interested in interviewing these like high profile people. Like, I kind of just enjoy having a good time on these podcasts and talking with friends and
that kind of chatty vibe is much greater. But yeah, if you kind of interview, like if you get someone like amazing on your show, I think it can kind of ruin the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a journalist. Like, that's not my thing. Interviewing people is not really my thing. So
yeah.
Next question. Sorry, sir.
Awesome. I don't think we have any more questions. Hold on, let me check Twitter.
Is this outfit itchy? Yes, yes, it is. There's an answer for you.
Someone's asking me, where am I reading the questions? Anyway, awesome. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. I think we'll have to get you back for another one to see, if you can improve.
Oh, I'll get I'll get a better pair of glasses next time.
Brekkie the Blind. Thank you. Like, any closing comments? How can people find out more about you? Find out more about Swan Bitcoin?
No, I mean, I'm on Twitter at BVBTC. You can DM me about Swan if you like. Go support Bitcoin gaming. Go buy Bitcoin. Tell all your friends. Tell everyone that Mandel Duck is the master of the backhanded compliment. And no, I'm kidding.
It's called being British. We kind of do that, I guess.
that dry humor. I know who I would interview. I would interview John Cleese. That's who I would interview.
Yeah. No, well, you can. Because he does this thing now where if you basically... Because he's somewhat exiled. Like I think he lives where Roger lives. St. Kitts or something like that. He lives in one of his... Yeah, kind of. But he does this thing where now, like, you basically can just, like, pay $100 to, like, Zoom call him. So, yeah. That would be pretty cool. He's kind of interesting. I'm a big fan of John Cleese and Fawlty Towers and stuff. So
that would be great.
Yeah, and he's also quite funny and witty. Anyway, yeah. Well, that will be like your god. I'd love to see you interview John Cleese. So yeah, look him up. You can pay him like 100. I think maybe it's a bit more, but you can pay him some bucks to speak with him on Zoom.
I think you should get him on the show to do a lightning lap. Why not?
Yeah. Well,
what is this? I mean, he would probably sound a bit like the Bitcoin Wizard, to be honest.
I would just like, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I could send him a message, maybe. He might get it because this is actually this whole segment is based off a UK TV show, like a famous car show, where they used to do this. Used to get celebrities would race a car around the track and stuff like that. So I don't think he was on that show. Sorry?
He was on that show?
I don't think he was on that show, but it was a show. They had like everybody on it, right? They've had like
I see.
Yeah, they had like movie stars and all sorts of people on it. So kind of copied the concept from there. Anyway, yeah, John Cleese, if you happen to be watching this, please come on the show. If not, we'll make do with Eric Idle. But we anyway, leave it there. So thanks for coming on, and yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and stay safe, stack sats, etc. See you. I'll do that. Bye.
Stack sats, etc.